This is part two of the origin story of the 72 harmonic sound keys came into being and how decades of spontaneously received content, tonal patterns, chants, and recordings merged with the system of art, symbols, and activation statements to create an ancient method that has transformational technology for us now. Even while working with the art last year and creating the symbolism, I still had no idea the sacred sounds as song chants that I had been receiving for really a good 25 years or longer were part of something greater. And a few song chants and some of the meditations I had recorded were used with the system before. And so that was easy for me to connect together and think of it as a useful tool to put those together. However, I still didn't understand or know the group of song chants that I was going to use to merge into the entire system, creating a greater offering. I had over 200 recordings of sacred tonal patterns I have been receiving, and the origin of this was in the late 1980s when some of the first sounds that I was receiving, chants and music, were part of that process, and some of that went into my first two albums. I have other song chants that I haven't shared that were put into audio files, and how these are received occurs at different times. I don't have a special method. They arrive, there's this moment of connection. The connection of the two areas with the collection of song chants connected with the images that I've been creating into this larger system of transformation, the harmonic sound keys. I wanted to contribute to people having easy to use tools that access releasing the old declining mental and physical health inevitable paradigm. I also understand that music and sound touch us very deeply into our spirituality that has nothing to do with religion, which has been the course of my life, and understanding how deeply that inner connection occurs and with others and how it opens us. I knew that this was a core contribution to this greater field. The other interesting thing that was happening during the pandemic was I was doing a lot of research in the United States and out of the United States on different ways that people use music and sound, and I discovered there was a lot of research on how music and sound affects us, and specific music and sounds, and how there are an incredible amount of benefits that are actually epigenetic, which means that they change instead of us having the neurological patterns that we're sustaining that lead to mental and physical illness. They release those patterns, and also positive endorphins like serotonin and dopamine that elevate our consciousness and also link us to all the things that are part of our genius, which is inspiration, intuition, innovation, problem solving, resilience, emotional regulation. It goes on and on. Then it all came together, and this is how. A mentor I was working with several years ago said I was an architect, and I couldn't figure out what that meant about myself, since I had always thought of architects as people who build buildings and construct things, and I knew I didn't build buildings. And so it took me a while to sort out and to realize I had created many programs that I realized I had already been implementing for several decades, and now I saw that the research supported it, and I had all these coalescing different pieces that came together to create the Harmonic Sound Keys program. The Harmonic Sound Keys are this living library as a resource method, as direct access to transformation. Follow to learn more about the Harmonic Sound Keys.